is it that we've noticed from the children? What is it that we can learn from them? What is it that they think about? What is it that they are scared about?
Is to be present teachers. And I'm not depending on the church to teach my child. I'm not depending on the school to teach my child.
That TV is not the parent. The gadgets are not the parent. You will lose your child in those gadgets. It's another Fit Show. It's another beautiful day. It's a beautiful time. We are grateful that you are joining us tonight once again. We are on a nice journey. The other day I was just reflecting and saying to myself, I never thought that I was going to live to see this day. You know, when you live to see a day that you would have read about in the Bible, or you would have read about in history that at such and such a time there was such and such a disaster, and all of a sudden I'm here, I'm 55, and I'm like, I never thought it would come, but it is here, and we're going to talk about it because it is affecting us, young and old. We are being affected. But as always and as usual, I'm not alone. Ladies.
Hi, everyone. I am Tsulu, and I am here to talk about stuff again.
Hi, everyone. I'm Andile. To talk all things wellness again.
We're talking about stuff again. I think today our discussion is going to be slightly different and maybe slightly unfortunate, in the sense that we may not necessarily have the audience that we are targeting so that we can hear their perspective. But we are wanting to reflect in terms of where we are and where we are and how where we are has affected young children. We are adults. We spoke in the previous episode that there is a whole lot that's going on. We're stressed, blah, blah, blah. But we've never really, tried to get to the mind of a child to find out as to what is the meaning of all of this to them, bearing in mind that these are leaders of tomorrow. What is it that they think about? What is it that they are scared about? What is it that they are not even willing to ask us? And yet we cannot hope to ignore the fact that they are part of this change. So today that's what we just want to talk about, as to amongst ourselves, what is it that we've noticed from the children? What is it that we can learn from them? Personally, I have found that, I would be with my son and I would die to want to get as much as possible from him in terms of just what is going on. And I would find that he has very little time to entertain anything that's deep. He just wants to play those games. And if I can stop irritating and messing up his winnings, he's much more happier. And in the process, I end up not knowing how to influence this 15-year-old, whom I know very well that this is a leader of tomorrow. That's just my personal opinion. Your comments, ladies?
I think for me, the truth is we're all living in times we weren't ready for. Personally, I'm tired of living in unprecedented times. I feel like everyone's really just exhausted. But yeah, it's like you said, it's a change for everyone. It is stressful for everyone in ways that are different because we're not all the same. I think for Christmas, I mean, for my little brother, I noticed that as well. I think for me, if I were to like really like try and dig into why he is the way he is, probably has a lot to do with the fact that he's a teenager. Secondly, I think everything kind of sucks right now. So if you can create some kind of virtual reality,
for yourself,
and you're just in that reality, then that is some kind of a saving grace. It's some kind of
an escape.
Precisely. It's some kind of escape, and I think a lot of us are doing that, whether we're 15 or 27. We're all trying to create some kind of reality that isn't this, because we are not only tired of living in this. I mean, in South Africa, we are. I mean, last year this time we were exactly in this exact same spot we're in. I think the only difference now is that we cannot be put onto level 5 because level 5 lockdown because of what that would do to the economy. But this whole level 4 thing is still a level 5. It's a level like 5.2 is what it is. And nobody really wants to be in it. At the same time, we're fighting an enemy we can't see. It's a disease. And it has variants. It keeps changing, and when we think we figured it out, it turns into something different. So it gets a little bit exhausting, you know. So I think that's part of the way I've seen the stress manifest itself in younger people, from teenagers to your mid to late 20s. Is that we're just trying to create realities that aren't what we're in now. So I don't know.
I think so. I've got a view that says there's a reason why we are not coming out of where we are, you know. And now that we're having this conversation, I've just had a moment of saying, what realization have I had regarding my parenting in this moment? You know, am I having enough conversation with my children? You know, because what happened is when it initially started, it was, we don't know each other. And I think I've said that before. Suddenly I must meet my children for the first time. I must have a conversation with them. Who are they? Understand them, understand their stresses. We've done this for a year. Now we kind of are understanding each other. And the question that I'm asking myself is, so if we have arrived at this point, what is the other thing that still needs to be fixed in this relationship, in the home? You know, where we've all been forced to you know, Lord, what are you saying? You know, what must we still fix so that when the time comes for the opening to happen, I haven't missed the opportunity. So it's key for me, and it has been key. And I've seen how they feel isolated. They're not with their friends. You know, there are studies that say children are affected by the lack of physical contact. With their friends. So you see it, but they've got physical contact with you. The question is, am I present for it? You know, and I think for me that is the deeper question that I'm asking myself, to say, you know, how do I provide that which they cannot get out there when I am here? Because that in effect is the responsibility I've been given towards them.
Yeah, that's great. I think, you've just nailed it, Andile. And for me, then it is a question for you, mother. It is a question for you, dad. The truth of the matter is that we are part of this jazz. We are seeing what's going on. And it is unfortunate that what we are seeing is not something that we can sing accolades about. We are also seeing people that are meant to be respected individuals in society carrying themselves as if they were young girls and they were young boys. We are seeing the level of corruption that is going on, which we cannot hide about it anymore. And these are not done by people that are young. So the question then remains, if people that are meant to take the country forward are in themselves finding fun in being irresponsible, whom are we to learn from? The younger people. If we sit here and we have become spectators of our own lives because we don't have either the platform to go speak, or we are just voiceless because maybe we don't have money. They say money answereth all. The truth is we are watching our lives go on the train, and someone is riding that train and is not asking us if we want to ride in this train or not. We are just told, "Itrain yangapha, gibelani niye ngapha." So we are in this mode, ourselves frustrated. The question is, what can we then even give to our own children? What is it that we can give them and say, learn from us? Because even us, we are ashamed to say to our children, learn from them, because them are riding the train and they have decided where the train is going to go. So it's a very dicey situation that we are in. And I am saying, but these are leaders of tomorrow. What are we making out of them? But then I still answer myself again and I say, if they are leaders of tomorrow, it means I am a leader of now, for now. And if I'm a leader now, then I'm a voiceless leader, because someone has decided that Usindi uzongena kule train. Whether she likes it or not, it is immaterial. The question is, where are we taking this country? I don't want to preach, but the other day I really just felt like saying, the Lord knew that certain things would not have been accomplished by now. That is why he needed to allow a repeat. At some particular point, I remember even speaking and saying, this thing could have gone. But because there are men and women who are playing dice with lives of other people, God is not going to jump injustice when he sees it. And neither is he going to turn a blind eye to unrighteousness. Right now, there is a lot of unrighteousness. There is a lot of injustice. There is a lot of selfishness. It's almost like Ubuntu was once a phenomenon that we decided in 2021 that to hell with Ubuntu, we are done with it. Now, indo tumai pandela, indo tumai bonela, at the expense of children that cannot even decide about their tomorrow. So the greatest pain and the greatest confusion and the movie, because to me sometimes it's like it's a movie. The movie is, I want to see who is the starring. I want to see who's going to end well in here, because somebody has got to end well. Yeah. Somebody has got to show someone that you are not immortal. I am God, and I am in the midst of my people, and I see everything that is being done to them. I think when we come back, we're just going to dig a little bit deeper into this gravy training, a big gravy, a usawoti train that we are in, where we are without a voice. When we come back. It is us again on this salt or gravy train. I don't know what we are calling it. We are witnessing the world around us. We're experiencing it, and as parents. And one thing that just remains key for us, maybe from Tulu's perspective, would be, your own experiences where you have stressed on behalf of a parent, your own experience of being in your corner without a parent possibly knowing what you are thinking about, and how that can help other parents from your perspective. It can help other parents to understand that their children can be in zones or in worlds where they are actually thinking about and possibly even stressing on their behalf as parents.
I think for me, one of the first things, I'm going to speak on behalf of myself.
Yeah.
And maybe that could help other children alike, or parents, or children who have now turned into adults like myself. One of the, and it's still a thing that I do now. The major telltale signs of me being stressed out is just me wanting to be alone. But it's also a tricky tell sign because I like being alone in general. But I think it's a parent, you'd know, my father would know. There's normal for me, and then there's something's wrong. She's locked herself in her room. Probably. She's not like that. So I think for me, it's kind of wanting to isolate myself, and a lot of the times, funny enough, when I am stressed out, especially on behalf of a parent, I don't talk much. I actually let the parent do the talking. I let the parent tell me. Usually, my mom doesn't need any. You don't need to coax things out of her. She just sits down and she'll tell you how much of a rough day she's had. And usually, I'll just let that happen. And if sometimes in hearing how much of a rough day she's had, and I've heard it 30 times out of the month, then I'll begin to worry. Personally, as a child, or as her child, in as much as I'm an adult, but I will begin to worry. And I will begin to carry that stress in small ways. I will begin to maybe even limit how I ask for things, when I ask for things, because of that. And it's not because she said I'm incapable of doing this for you. It has nothing to do with her capabilities. But in my head, or in my heart, I will think, I'm going to be a strain if I ask for money for that, or if I ask for this, or even if it's just I need 10 minutes of your time, I need attention. So maybe with regards to how parents can help their children with that, is make it a dialogue. If we're talking about how stressed we are today, let's just talk about, oh shucks, today I was stressed out because this happened. What happened to you? So that I get used to also saying it, because saying, as a child I can think, oh no, it's just my job to listen, and then it becomes problematic because then all I do is listen, and I never get to the point where I learn to speak back, and I learn to vent as well. And parents need to know, they need to hear that as well. They need to know that, okay, she's in this kind of state. So encourage the talk or the venting, because it's something that we all need to do, to be a dialogue and not to be a one-way conversation. Because if it's a dialogue, I can feel empathy for you, but I know that you feel it for me too. And we can meet each other halfway. So that's one of the first things I think helped me and just with how I, deal with, just my parents as well. My father can call me for a full hour talking about, hey, this person did this, hey, this person did this. But it's also, balanced in being able to be like, so what's going on with you? And now I have the choice of, okay, do I want to go on for an hour as well? Or do I summarize it? So I think for me personally as Utsulu, I've been able to balance I found the balance in making those kinds of stressful conversations and uncomfortable conversations. I found the balance in making them a dialogue, two-way conversations. And even sometimes when it's not a two-way conversation, I'll go to my mom and be like, I need to have a conversation with you. And it's going to have nothing to do with her, but just everything to do with, here's what I'm thinking and here's what I'm upset about, So I think with parents sometimes, with children rather, sometimes we do this thing where all we do is isolate ourselves. And that could be a major sign. And as an adult who was once a child, I've learned that it doesn't help me, isolating myself. I can't run. We were having a conversation with my cousins a while back, and all of us are in our 20s, and I think it was about 3 or 4 of us, and we were having a conversation in the kitchen, and the question was, would you have a child like yourself? And I was like, of course, yes. I'm perfect. I look at myself and I'm just like, you know what? I'm not a stressful person. And my one cousin, who's very observant, said to me, one of the things about you, Tulu, is that you're not confrontational. And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, do you not think that's like a trauma response? Like how you turned out as an adult, you don't like confrontation because you've seen it as a child. And do you not think if you had a child like you, all you two would do would sweep issues under the rug and never deal with it because nobody wants to talk about it and everyone wants to be alone. And in retrospect, I was like, shucks, you're completely right, So yeah, I think for me the major thing is talk to your children, and when they don't feel like talking,
leave them.
Accept that they don't feel like talking, because it also doesn't help trying to push. They're also trying to make sense of their world. They're also trying to make sense of their feelings. And once they've made sense of their feelings, rest assured that they will come to you and say, here's actually how I feel. So, yeah.
Andile is going to make a very interesting comment that she made earlier. And I think maybe rather go for it, Andile.
Yeah, I think what I was saying is that what we are seeing now, I believe, is as a result of the people who are now in the gravy train, in the dirt we are seeing. They learned it from somewhere.
Yeah.
They didn't wake up and they were like this.
Yeah.
And if I look at my life, therefore, and I say, if I had someone saying to me, yes, I was told, yes, I was preached to, but now more than ever, there's social media now. Now it's overload of these things.
Yeah.
But if no one is present and able to say to you, this is not right. Yes, they are doing it, but it is not right. These are the consequences. What this moment has allowed us to do in the lives of our children is to be present teachers.
Yeah.
To be present. Yes, the world is showing you that example. But here's what is true. And I'm not depending on the church to teach my child. I'm not depending on the school to teach my child. This child is going to grow up and be what I have imparted in them.
Precisely.
If they are deciding to move away from what I have taught, I know at the end of the day that I will say, Lord, I've done my part, and this moment is allowing us as parents that moment. It's difficult with teenagers. I also have a 15-year-old. I have to walk into that room and just sit on the bed and say, I'm visiting. And she'll kick me out, Mom, get out. But, and I would say, your sister has cooked. Why have you not eaten? It's proper behavior to eat when someone has cooked. Whereas when I'm tired from work, I don't care who's cooked. I don't care who's eating. So this child walks around thinking she can just dismiss someone's hard work like that. But this is now giving me an opportunity to go and just correct that quickly, you know, as I see it. And there's more time that I really believe the Lord is allowing in the lives of our children and ourselves to do this teaching in preparation of where they must go to. Because as you say, they are the future leaders. If we think they've seen too much now, the future is there's so much more that they will see in the future. And this is an opportunity therefore for us. And I really believe that this moment is also allowing that over and above everything else. But for me, that is what I will take it to be.
It kind of redefines the home dynamic.
I think what is also just important in what you are saying, Andile, is that balancing effect, that not all is gloom and doom. There is a responsibility that is being thrown back to parents to say, you will be the parent. I mean, when I look at me and Tsulu, there is no time in our entire life where I've had to know her as I know her now. You know, and I think even with her, she can vouch to say, there is no time that I really know my mom like I know her now, you know, because the circumstances have converged us into a corner that is forcing us to be mother and daughter. And I think from that perspective, we are grateful indeed. We really are grateful, because we could at some point we were parenting our children via cash. As long as he has the money, he's not gonna bother me. She's not gonna bother me. But now there is no cash flush out there. The resources that are there are minimal, and they require that we all take responsibility to say, how am I going to make sure that I make the best of what I have, and without having funny demands, because at some point we don't tell our children. We never used to speak that much. So what would happen in the child's mind? Oh, mommy is sitting with loads and loads of cash. So when I need this, she gives. And sometimes you are doing it because you are protecting your children. But now there is no protection. There is 50 rands that is on the table. We are going to make do with these 50 rands, because everyone knows that the economy is at a state where it is at. So truly, I think that point, Andile, really just allows us to say, while we are watching and saying, Ingabe kuzophelelaphi, there is also a responsibility that says, stop overwatching, look closer where you are, do the mother thing, do the daddy thing, so that the kids can begin to have their own parents. I mean, my son yesterday says to me, Mommy, please show me my clothes that you bought me. So I go downstairs, I take the pictures, I do a little video. After he saw the video, he responds and he says, thank you, my wonderful mother. And I thought to myself, this boy, I know is deep. For him to get to saying, thank you, my wonderful mother, it was not just something in him knows that mama is actually wonderful. And those are things you wouldn't get to hear, because we're all busy when they're saying, Mommy, this, hey, take that, it's there, I'm coming, I'm gonna see you. We're just not there for them. But now when a child says, Mommy, I would love for you to get this for me, if you can. Even the language changes, if you can. And then I'm thinking, if I can, I actually can. Maybe let me just go look for these things for him. You know, and then I begin to say to him, you know, I also I'm beginning to love beanies. And then he says to me, can you see that they style in beanies? you see, we can talk. There is that allowability of the child knowing that mommy matters. And as mommy matters, I also matter to mommy as well.
Yeah.
You know, so for that part, I think we are grateful. We are challenging you at home that do not remain a stranger, so that we can all pass this Rubicon. I strongly believe that we could have passed this had we all been very responsible, without greed, without just an appetite, a demonic appetite, which leaves an entire nation, millions of people, completely penniless, no job, nothing, and a few individuals. I am watching the space as well. I am watching the space as to what is going to happen to appetites that are demonic, that have made it a point that South Africans are in a dire state. I'm not even talking South Africans only. I am just watching the space. I know what God said. I will keep on watching. But you at home, let's not watch too much. Let's get involved with our children. Let's be a part of them. Let's influence them so that, as Andile says, we can go back one day and say, Lord, we did our best. We did speak the truth. We did guide, we did show the love, we did embrace when it was time to embrace, we cuddled when it was time to cuddle, so that no one is feeling any guilty. I hope you are blessed. I hope you are going to do your part. That TV is not the parent. The gadgets are not the parent. You will lose your child in those gadgets, and yet you've been given an opportunity. Level 4, sit down at home, love one another. Let us love one another at home. Let us play games. Umlabalaba, azlalizingedo. We don't even have to buy these things. Time has been given unto us to recoup and be meaningful individuals in each other's lives. Be that and get your reward, and sleep at home, sleep nicely at night, because there are those who are not sleeping. They won't sleep even more. The more they are getting deeper in darkness, the more they are not going to sleep, while they are taking all of us where we don't want to go. We don't even know where we're going to end, but watch the space. Stay blessed, South Africa. Stay blessed, mother, daughter, son, dad, aunts, sisters. Let's love one another.
Yeah.
Stay blessed.